What up? What up? What up? And welcome to another week of Journey of a Jackass. And I am your host, Daya Shakur. Hey, welcome to another week. Welcome to another week. I hope everybody out there is doing good. Everybody's doing fine. You know what I'm saying? They getting to their money. They take care of their families. And they loving on everybody. You know what I'm talking about? Now, I'm sorry I missed last week. So I got this thing where if you coming on the show, please, I'm gonna let y'all know. If you want to come on the show, do not wait till a couple minutes before or later on in the afternoon to say that you're not gonna be able to make it. All right. So I've been running into the index the episode last week, but it's all good though. You feel what I'm saying? Because I'm still driving. And you know, next week I hit my 50th episode. My 50th episode, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna see if I can get Sherelle and April to come on here next week so they can talk a little shit with me and all that stuff. Next week is gonna be the big 50th episode, halfway to 100, and I'm still in here kicking and going, right? So, another thing, I'm up to 2,800 subscribers. I want to thank everybody that's been listening, everybody's been viewing, everybody's been commenting, liking, all that stuff. On my YouTube, I'm up to 2,800 subscribers, almost 3,000 subscribers, man. Like, for real. All the people that have been showing me love on Instagram, I'm at like 7,800, 7,900 followers on there, stuff like that, man. Look, thank y'all for showing the love, man. You know what I'm saying? That make me feel good. That means people out here actually listen to me. You know what I'm saying? That make me feel good. And I appreciate everybody telling me that my stories are crazy as hell. Of course they're crazy as hell. And I'm going to tell another one today. But before we get into story time with me, tonight we have a very, very special guest, author, entrepreneur. You know, she runs Just Love Self, LLC. You know, she does a ton of things, but I'll let her get into that. We have Miss Gladys Stock on here tonight, Miss Gladys Stock. You know, and you know it's about to be good. She got an old school name. And you don't know too many youngest named Gladys. You know what I'm talking about? Now, with that being said, story time with me, right? So we're going to talk about loving one another, loving on each other, and loving ourselves, right? I think that's important. It's very, very important, right? So with that being said, in this story time, I'm going to share a story of love and compassion. Okay. So this is how it started. I was younger, teenage years, once we go through puberty and all that stuff, we start going a little chin head, little chest head, got a little pub, start going around our meat, and all this balls start to drop a little bit, wang get a little bit lame, you know what I'm saying? And then we start having that urge for coochie. You know what I'm saying? See, I got that urge at a young age, very, very young age. I did. I mean, it is what it is. I just didn't act on it for a couple of years, whatever the case may be, right? So when we were young, we used to play games, hide and go get it, you know what I'm saying? Hide and hump, you know what I'm saying? I don't know why our parents felt comfortable with letting all the boys in the neighborhood have campouts. We used to have campouts in people's backyard where all the boys and the girls would sleep in one big ass tent or one big ass area or in a basement. Man, that was a set up. We was back there playing hide and go get it. We out there dry humping on each other, reaching down each other's drawers, see what it feels like. Like, the ladies, the girls will touch mine, and then they touch somebody else's. Oh, y'all don't feel the same. I'm like, they not supposed to feel the same. You know what I'm saying? And we just reaching out there, we dry humping and everything. So the dry humping, that was one of my favorite summer pastimes, because that's when we starting feeling ourselves loving on each other, right? Love everybody, loving on each other. So my urges for this kind of started escalating. So I was like, man, fuck that. I need to see what the real thing feel like. So I started sneaking into the little girls around my way in their house where their parents was at work. Man, I go in there, suck on their little flat chest and everything like that. Cause they, some of them had boobs, whatever the case may be. But the ones that had boobs was talking to older dudes. So I was only getting the ones that did they still had the little A cups, like, you know what I'm saying? They was out there with tank tops on and not training bras and none of that stuff. If you know what I'm saying. We all went through this in our life, because the girls back then didn't develop like the girls are developing now, if that makes sense, right? These girls like 21, 22 years old look like grown, like they've been grown women for a long time. Back then, nah. The girls that was 12, 13, 14 years old looked 12, 13, 14 years old. You know what I'm saying? We was 12, 13, 14 years old. They was 12, 13, 14 years old, and we all looked it. Okay? So anyway, I started sneaking into the little girls' houses, doing my thing, touching all on them and stuff like that. But I wasn't quite prepared yet. I wasn't prepared yet, right? I knew I could get a girl pregnant because I had my wet dream. And my mom found out about the wet dream when she found the hard ass drawers. You know what I'm talking about? She picked them up and was like, ew, did you pee in the bed? I was like, no, I didn't pee in the bed. You know what I'm saying? And she looked at me and was like, and then she dropped the drawers on the floor. She said, but just put them in the washing machine. So anyway, I'm out there sneaking in houses, having a good time, you know what I'm saying? Kissing, sucking on their little bird chest, putting my hand in their pants, not necessarily putting it in, but just touching down there, I'm touching on their butt and stuff like that, kissing, everything. I learned how to kiss and everything. It was good because we all wanted to experience, but we didn't really want to, I guess, engage. Not yet. We still felt like back then we still had a little bit of discipline, not like today. We had a little bit of discipline back then. So anyway, it came to a head for me, right? So I went up to one of them. She lived up the street from me in a little circle, whatever case may be. I said, hey, come on, let's go ahead, let's try this, right? So we get in the house, whatever case may be. And she was like, no, I'm scared. I said, okay, cool. So I left to go down the street. But I go down the street, you know what I'm saying? I knocked on I ain't gonna say her name, but I knocked on the door, boom, 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 boom. She let me in, but she was a little bit more developed for her age. I was like, she looked like a grown woman for her age. I was like, dang, blah, blah, blah. So we go in there. She said, my parents got home, you can come in. So we sitting there drinking juice and all this stuff. And then she's like, look, blah, blah, blah. She just kind of lifted up her shirt. And I was like, dang, and I seen it, but they were so like beautiful. I was like, dang, look at these, right? So love that stuff. So she's like, you want to give it a kiss? I was like, yeah. So I started giving it a kiss, like loving on her. Everybody loving everybody. Just love self, right? So I was loving on her at the time. So right before she said, well, let's go ahead and do it. It'd be both of our first time. I said, okay. So she started taking her pants off. I started taking my pants off, right? And I am, I'm ready to go. Like dick hard as a motherfucker. Ready to go. Just love ourselves. I'm loving on her. She loving on me. So we get in there. We start kissing and everything like that. So I get on top of her and I get scared. I did. I got scared. I was like, oh no, I don't know what to do. I don't want to mess it up. Blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you know what I did? Being scared. I said, no, we should do this, blah, blah, blah. And luckily, I left because her parents was coming around the corner because I just kind of shimmy my clothes back on and ran up out the house because I was scared. And she was at school telling everybody was laughing at me for a couple of days, whatever the case may be. But it was all good, though. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It's back in the day, right? If shit won't happen now, I would knock her fucking bottom out. Hear me out. So anyway, all that stuff I have to, so I leave, go around and run around the corner, and just luckily, because we would have got caught in the act. And they come down the hill, I'm going up here, and I'm school too, scared as a mug. So I go in the house. When I get in the house, I just sit down with my brothers and sisters like ain't nothing happened, right? I was trying to love on her, right? I was trying to love on the chick up the street. Nothing happened. I was trying. I don't think I was ready yet. So if you can't love on them, who's the person you want to love? Yourself. So that night, I sat down. I said, damn, I felt like, because I was hard. I had blue balls. So I was like, man, I got to get this out. So nobody, like my brothers and sisters were asleep or whatever the case may be. So I caught myself going upstairs, laying on the sofa and trying to like squeeze one out. I'm sitting there spanking my monkey like a motherfucker, hitting it, right? So I was like this right before I could release. You know what happened? My mama pulled a pan full of water on me. Put a pan full of water on me. It's like, get your nasty ass out my house now. Blah, blah, blah. All because I was trying to love on myself. And you know, ever since that day, I have never been able to come from jacking off or jacking off ever since that day. There are a lot of traumatic things that happened in my life. Now, I couldn't get one that day, and I still can't get one now, all because I was trying to love on myself. And that's story time with me. I'm just saying. I got caught in the act. My mama caught me in the act of having sex before, and she caught me in the act of I was handling myself too. You know, I was biting my lip, handling myself, like biting my lip, like handling myself, just trying to love on myself. And my mom ruined it for me. Right there, I was this close. Damn. But that's story time with me. Now, since we talking about loving yourself, you know what I'm saying? Loving self, loving people, loving everything, right? Tonight, we have a very, very, very special guest that spreads the word of love to everybody. Not like I try to spread the love. Y'all evidently been hearing from me for a year about how I like to spread love. You know what I'm talking about? But she like to spread love in a more positive, nurturing way. I do it in a positive way too, you know what I'm saying? But she does it in a more nurturing manner, more motherly. You know what I'm saying? So without further ado, I would like to bring in my guest tonight, author, motivational speaker, entrepreneur, Miss Old School name having Gladys Stock.
I love the introduction.
Yeah.
I love the introduction. Yes.
How you doing? How you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. So first and foremost, you're doing good. I'm glad you're doing good. So tell the people who you are. Hold on, before we get to that, you see how I incorporated your love?
I loved it. I loved it.
I had
I was
that
over
incorporated.
here cracking up. I loved it.
Listen, got to love self. And I was trying to love self. And my mama messed it up for me.
Yes, yes. She didn't want you to love yourself that early on. She wanted you to wait a little bit to develop self-love.
Oh, man.
So that's what it was.
She wanted me out of. She was like, if you're gonna do that, don't do it in my house.
Exactly.
Man,
love yourself somewhere else.
Man, look, I tell you what, because we was young and reckless back then too. If it went down with the developed girl down the street, man, I'd probably have a bunch of kids by now.
Mm-hmm.
But
yes, it sounds like you would have had a few, definitely up the street and down the street.
I would look. The one up the street was she was scared. The one down the street she was ready to go. I'm like, oh, you're like, oh.
But see, by the time she saw that you was giving the attention to the one down the street, she would have came around a little bit because she was like, hold up, he giving her some attention. Wait a minute, let me see. You know how it go.
Yeah. So I got the love. I had just love self.
Yes.
Damn, mama, messed it up. now tell everybody who you are.
So my name is Gladys, and I'm an author. I released a book last year under the pen name J.M. Sims. It's called Never Would Have Made It: How Overcoming Grief and Loss Saved My Life. I'll get into that because I know you got questions. I know you got questions.
That's right.
Yes. And then I am the founder and creator. I actually have a product with me here. This is one of my wall decor items of Just Love Self. So a little backstory.
Uh-huh.
I was in an abusive relationship back in
Oh.
2007. And I saw the red flags like most of us do. You know, we see those red flags, but we really want to give people the benefit of the doubt. And I'm the type of person, I'm an empath. So, like, I really absorb energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I always try to give the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? I try to say, okay, I know this seems a little off, but let me see what happens in a few weeks from now, or let me see what's going to happen, 4 or 5 months down the road. I'm that person, regrettably. I'm going to say regrettably.
Uh-huh.
And so I was in this relationship. It was a very short relationship. Like, we started dating in February or March of 2007. And on June 8th of 2007, he murdered my 3-year-old son, Jabari.
Oh no, man. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. He murdered my son. I feel like he knew that I was planning to leave
He in
because I had
he in
been,
hold on, he in jail?
he's in jail.
I hope he get pounded out every fucking day.
He's in jail. He's doing 30 years because they gave him 30 years for second degree murder. And
Uh-huh.
then they gave him 30 years for first degree child abuse. And they have him doing it concurrently.
Okay.
So altogether, he's just doing 30 years.
Man, I hope he in there laying on his stomach right now. Fuck that. Anybody that pedophiles, motherfuckers that fuck with the kids, all that shit, like nah, dog.
Yeah.
Only because you don't have the emotional intelligence just to walk the fuck away. But I hope he is somebody bitch right now. I mean, it is what it is.
Listen, I'm with you on that one. Like,
Yep.
I would have never imagined being in this situation. Like, if you could have paid me $1 million and
Uh-huh.
said, "Hey Gladys, where do you see yourself in the future?" I guarantee you it would not have been talking about the loss of a child.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the hardest thing. That's the hardest thing ever, right? It's because we want to our children to outlive us. That
Yeah,
I like every time I talk to a mom, like even I'm a retired Army vet, so when talking to parents who have lost children and stuff like that, man, it's the most difficult thing ever. You're
it
like,
is.
dang,
It is absolutely the most difficult thing ever. And honestly, I lost myself. I
yeah,
lost myself in the process. This June will be 17 years since my son's death. And it
dang.
took me 16 years up until last year to really get to a point where I was able to heal and accept that what happened was not my fault, because I blamed myself because I stayed in the relationship. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, there
yeah.
were red flags that I ignored, and I stayed in the relationship. And as a result of that, my son is no longer with me.
Now,
So
there's no time limit on grief. There's no time
yeah,
limit on that. Nah,
yeah,
it ain't no time limit on that.
absolutely. There's definitely not. And that's why one of the things that I plan to do this year, I'm working on a workbook.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking a pause on writing stories per se for the moment, and I'm working on a workbook, and it's going to be like a 30-day journey to helping someone that is dealing with the loss of a child or dealing with the loss of a loved one in general. Just because I feel like, because I've experienced it, I can share. I can't necessarily tell someone how to deal with it, but I
Mm-hmm.
can share my experience and the things that I went through and the growth and the challenges that I had to overcome in order to get to where I'm at today.
Now I'm gonna ask you this question, right?
Yeah.
Because I know I know this was extremely hard on you and stuff like this, and that relationship was a terrible experience. Now let me ask you this: in your personal life, how did that situation affect your dating life?
I was terrified.
So
I was
moving forward, right?
terrified. Moving forward, it took me a while to
Okay.
even, like, you couldn't even get my phone number, bro. Like, no.
Damn.
Like,
Uh-huh.
you know how you be across the street and you see a little cutie and you like, and I may be the little cutie that you see that moment, and you start, to, hey, mama, keep it moving. Don't
Look,
waste your time.
especially you tell them their name, like my name Gladys. We're like, oh, I know you can cook. You like, but I'm not interested right now.
Nope, not at all. Keep it moving.
Yep.
Like, and then even once I did start dating again, I still have a wall up. I'm in a relationship now that I've been in for almost 5 years, and
Mm-hmm.
I still have a slight wall up. And it's just something that I feel like is always going to be there
Mm-hmm.
because of the situation. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, there's some things that you can forget, you can forgive, they say forgive and forget and move on and all of those things. There's some things that you can honestly forgive, forget, and move on from. I just can't say right now that losing a child is one of those things.
No, yeah, it wouldn't be for me. It wouldn't be for me. I would be, just me personally. I would find out where the person locked up at, and I would be putting money on niggas' books to violate him. I'm just saying, it
Listen,
is what it is. You know,
right.
I'd be like, man, look, I found out where he locked up at. I'd be like, shit, I join a pen pal program. Like, hey man, you locked him on the block with this person right here. Look, man, I put a couple $100 on your books. You
Listen,
know what I'm saying?
when I first went to grief therapy, the first question that the grief therapist asked me was, do you have any thoughts of harming this individual? And I stared at her for a good 5 to 10 minutes because she was a Black lady.
Yeah.
And, she had just told me that she had an 18-year-old daughter and stuff like that. And I stared at her for a few minutes before I answered her. And I was like, how would you feel?
Yeah.
I was like, that's all I'm going to say. She was like, well, if you tell me that you have any feelings or any thoughts of harming him, I have to reveal it. And I'm in my head like, woman, do you really think I'm going to tell you this?
Well, my thing is, yeah, homicidal and suicidal ideations have to be reported by a therapist, of course, or a grief counselor or mediation or whatever the case may be. But in this situation, the man is in jail for 30 years. She can report it all she wants, but that don't mean that you're going, by the time you get out, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody going, I mean, you still going to be thinking about it, but I know healing takes time. But by the time you get out, man, the world's going to be a different place. And you never know who's going to be out waiting for him because he going to reap what he sowed. You know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely. So, and it's funny that you should say that because back in 2018, I had to go back to court for I think they call it like a modification hearing. So apparently when they did the original sentencing, they had made an agreement with him that after a certain amount of time, he could have his sentence reviewed. And so I had to go to this modification hearing, and the judge was like, I don't even know why we're here. He said the main thing that bothered him the most was that this man showed no remorse. When I tell you this man has never said, I'm sorry, he was sitting next to me, Daya, after murdering my son. Like, I didn't know that he murdered my son until October of 2007. My son was murdered on June 8th, 2007. I didn't know who was the person guilty until October when the state's attorney called me and had me come to Baltimore. They sat me down in a room and they said, we want to let you know that we're going to be locking your ex-boyfriend up for the murder of your son.
Wow.
And I lost it because I had been sitting next to this man for an entire month after he murdered my son. And he watched me going through it, knowing that he was the one that did it.
It's so fucked up.
Like, can you imagine how fucked up a person has to be? Like,
Yeah.
That was all that was going through my mind, and when the detective was telling me, I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, I'm not with him right now. Like, I left. I was like, I sat next to him for a month. Like, this man tried to have sex with me, knowing that he had murdered my son.
That's fucked up. That's real fucked up. Like, where do you have to be? What kind of headspace do you have to be in to think that shit is like, oh, it's gonna be all right after doing some shit like that? That's fucked up. And, you know what I'm saying? And if he got locked up in the state of Maryland, only reason they're doing the review right now, because I think in the state of Maryland, no matter, unless you get life without the possibility, you only got to do like 75 or 85% of your time. So he's getting close to that.
Well, so his 15-year mark actually just came up, and I received a letter because I get notified. They denied his parole.
Yeah,
they denied his parole. So he's going to be finishing out the rest of his time.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's good, man. He don't need to come home. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's not many motherfuckers. I said it about all my partners is locked up for selling dope. Bring their ass home. All the people that shot somebody because they were defending themselves
Right.
or for fighting or whatever, bring their ass home. You know what I'm saying? But dudes like him, man, fuck that. No, a defenseless child.
Yes. And here's the thing.
It's fucked up.
Here's what makes it even worse. So from the time my son was born, he had severe reflux. So he was always throwing up. I was always back and forth in the hospital, at the doctor's office. And I really think that this dude was jealous of the amount of attention and time and care that I had to pour into my son, because I did had to pour a lot of, time into him. He was fragile. At the time of his death, at 3 years old, he weighed 26 pounds.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Now, when you think about it, 26 pounds, that's about the weight of a 3 or 4 month old baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, he was that fragile. So when this person, because I'm not giving him that power, when this person punched my son, it killed him instantly. That's what the medical examiner said. It killed him instantly because he was so fragile.
Damn. Man, yeah, that's fucked up, man. Damn. That's all I can say about that. Like, damn. Like, and I'd be curious as to like, hey man, if you don't, okay, so my thing is, right, dating a single mom, you have to be strong because the children are always going to come first, right? So if you're not in the headspace to be in that situation, why do it? And then if you feel like it's not a situation for you, walk the fuck away.
Did I mention he has children?
Oh man, come on, man.
He has 4 children. His children used to come to my house that he was staying at with me, my apartment that he was staying with me in Baltimore. His children used to come to my house and spend the night.
So hold on now. We peeling back the onion now. So you was dating a hobo sapien. Oh, we peeling back the onion now. He had 4 kids.
Yeah.
4 kids, and he was living with you.
Yes.
Oh, you was dating a hobo sapien. I don't know. We peeling this onion back now. Yeah. So you that man right there should have been in your life in the first place because you too good of a person for that.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Damn. God damn.
He slipped through the cracks because I was dealing with severe grief at that time. I had just lost my dad. So I had just lost my dad, and when they talk about death happening in threes, I lost my grandmother who raised me in July of 2006. I lost my dad December 16th, 2006. And then June 8th, 2007, my 3-year-old son was murdered.
God, man, I'm sorry for all that loss, man. Damn.
Like, so it was like, I was in a vulnerable state, and he knew that. You know what I mean? He knew that. I shared those things with him, like, that pillow talk, those conversations, how much I missed my dad, how hard it was. Because when my dad died, I went into a shelter. Like, I didn't have anywhere to go. So I went into a shelter. And from there, they put me in public housing, and that's how I met him.
Oh man, listen, this shouldn't even be a Lifetime movie, man. Tubi movie. you know what I'm saying? What's my man that made the movie? The nurse that saw the baby on the road and
the Carly Russell.
Yeah. And the rapper that got shot in the hill, like the dude that made those movies. You need to talk to him. What is his name? I think his name like Alvin Gray or something like that.
Okay.
And yeah, he in Baltimore too.
Hey, listen, I definitely could turn my book, if I expand on it, especially, I definitely could turn my book into like a little mini Tubi movie, definitely.
Ah, man, I'll be sitting here, I'm like, oh, man, look at this. And then what was crazy about it is that so many people have been through it. You know what I'm saying? So many people have been through it, and it would hit home for a lot of families. Like it would.
And that's why I wrote the book. The difference between like I know from following you that, you enjoy being an author. That was something you aspired to do. I didn't aspire to be an author.
Mm-hmm.
I was giving a test that I felt I had to turn into a testimony,
Yep.
and the outlet was writing a book.
Okay, yeah, I was about to ask you. So writing the book, right? So that was one of your coping mechanisms. What besides writing and Greek gods, what other coping mechanisms did you use to try to help yourself on this healing journey that you've been on?
So painting, I enjoy painting. I'm not that great at it, but I enjoy painting. Anything that allows me to like be crafty or creative,
Uh-huh.
I enjoy doing.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna say because and that's a positive thing because a lot of people when they going through things and they get depressed, they start turning into drugs, alcohol, being real promiscuous and all this stuff. Even when I was suffering from PTSD or whatever case may be, those are things I didn't turn to drugs, but alcohol and sex were my vices. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I was like, fuck that. I'm going to have sex with many people as possible. And I was drinking every day. I was just like, but I didn't know that I was fighting that demon from being deployed and seeing and doing all the stuff that I've been through. You know
Now,
what I'm
when
saying?
my son was first murdered, I definitely went through that. The
Okay.
alcohol, the substance, definitely. Like
Okay.
alcohol, like right now, I don't even like the taste of alcohol. Like I can't, I get drunk off of a couple of sips.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I was so depressed and so just like I couldn't understand how this could happen. You know what I mean? And
Uh-huh.
so I would go to the liquor store and I would get like a little, the little pint of Henny,
Yep.
and I would sit on my front porch because I could not go in the house. Like
Yeah.
I could not go in the house. So I had to move. Like being in the apartment after my son was murdered there, it was too much. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't eating. I tried to commit suicide. Like I
Yeah.
actually sat in the bathtub and I slit my wrist.
Damn. I'm glad you're still here. You feel what I'm saying? You're a survivor. Oh, not only
I feel like I'm meant to be here.
yeah.
I feel like, like I said, a tragedy like this could have taken me out mentally, physically, all of that. I could have let it just take me out and shut me down. And for a while I did.
Okay.
I really did go into a shell and just like I was an introvert. When they talk about introvert, if you look up introvert in the dictionary, you're gonna see me chilling, like, hey, I'm
Yeah.
here. You know what I mean? Like, you don't invite me to nothing. I'm not coming. I'm
Yep.
telling you now, I'm not showing up. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna put it on my calendar and I'm gonna think about it,
Uh,
but I'm not showing up. Like,
so
I was that person.
so writing this book, right? So writing this book, right? I know there were a lot of traumatic memories that you had writing this book and stuff like that. So what were the hardest parts of you putting this down on pen and paper and saying you're gonna share it to the world? Like what were the hardest
Hmm.
parts?
Just all of it. All of it, letting people in because people are so judgmental. Like,
Yeah.
even with my son's death, the reason why I blamed myself is
Uh-huh.
because so many other people blamed me. So many people questioned, well, how could you let this happen? There was an incident before my son's death back in May on Mother's Day of 2007. I went out to the strip club with the guy, his
Uh-huh.
sister, and his mother, right? You would think that's totally innocent. I don't go to strip clubs. That's not my thing. I'm not a strip
Well,
club.
y'all with the normal jeans?
Look, the little hole in the wall, John, up Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
wasn't even nothing spectacular, okay?
Okay.
And I came home and my son was crying. He had punched my son in the chest
Oh no.
because he had gotten upset with me for going out to the strip club.
But
You see what I'm saying? This man was so controlling. Everywhere I went, there was a question mark. I like to go to Walmart. Who doesn't like Walmart? There
yeah.
was a question mark. Oh, you going to meet a man at Walmart with my kids with me? Me and my kids loading up in the car. I can see if I'm leaving my kids in the house, like some of these women, I'm out in the street, I'm here, there, doing this, that, you know what I'm saying? Then, hey, if you want to
But
question, you want to be insecure, go for it.
you know what that is though. That he was deflecting. Not just the 10. He was cheating.
Oh,
Not
he was
not
cheating.
yeah
Oh, he
yeah
was cheating. He
yeah.
was cheating. Absolutely.
He was deflecting. Yeah.
He had the bitch up in our house in my face, Daya,
What?
calling her his best friend.
Oh yeah. See
Calling her his best friend.
when
Every time
dude.
I turn around, here she is.
That's fucked up. And this dude was no good for you.
No good.
And usually when dudes be deflected, oh blah blah blah, they getting mad. Where you going? Why you do that? Blah blah blah. Where your phone at? Blah. Blah. 9 times out of 10 they cheat.
Mm-hmm.
They are and just deflecting. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? That's why I'm like, yeah. Especially this dude. This dude seemed a little unstable. Well, he was unstable.
Oh, I did a background check after the fact, something I should have done before the fact, and I do before the fact now. Like once I got your full name and your date of birth, I'm on Maryland Judiciary Case Search, I'm on the Virginia Case Search, and I'm on the DC Case Search. I need to see your background, what you've been doing.
Yeah, yeah.
He had domestic violence charges with two of his baby mothers. An ex-girlfriend before me, he had a 3rd-degree assault charge. It said he hit her so hard he knocked her out of her shoes.
What the nah?
In the parking lot in the neighborhood in front of a whole bunch of witnesses.
You know what? You know what's crazy about that? It's sad. I don't know when that shit started, right? I mean, you know, there've always been abusive dudes out here. We grew up, we seen it, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. But now it's the whole. It's like this shit is escalated to something different. Like there are dudes proud to be squaring up and jumping women. Like when the fuck did that start? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I
shit.
honestly do not know. This was my first experience that was this aggressive. Like I had dated a guy when I was younger, like 15, 16. He was the brother of a guy that my sister was dating, and she called herself trying to play matchmaker. Like, okay, I'm dating his brother, so here's somebody for you, you know. Yeah. And he was very aggressive, like very controlling, like, you know, you my woman, you do what I say type of dude. And he was cheating his ass off, had 2 kids already at 16 years old. Like,
oh yeah, look, he's out there laying lumber. He's like, fuck
he
that.
Was out there laying it out.
Laying lumber. He's like, shit, I ain't pulling down nothing except the driveway.
And so I wasn't the right chick for him because I'm like, like you too much. Like, so it did not last long at all. Like I was like, oh, I gotta go. I lost my virginity to him. It was horrible. Like I ran into him years later since I've become an adult. He was married, tried to lie about it, was living with his wife.
Oh yeah, no, I ain't gonna lie. We all go through that phase. I remember when I was married, I went through that, man. It was my high school sweetheart. I was like, yeah, you know, blah blah blah. I ain't got nobody. And then my ex-wife found out about it, like call her and tell her that you can't talk to her no more. You know what I'm saying? So I went through that shit. I was like, man.
Homeboy told me he was living with his sister. He was living with his sister and his wife.
I just didn't tell her nothing about. I just didn't tell my high school sweetheart nothing about my wife. I just didn't tell her. We was just talking on the phone. We was communicating back and forth and stuff like that, texting back and forth and all that. I just didn't tell her. Then you know, my ex-wife went through my phone. Was like, who the fuck is this? Blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? And even to this day, me and my high school sweetheart, we still talk. We talk. Like we good to go. You know what I'm saying? She married now. She doing good and all that stuff. And then we laugh about the situation now, even though it's fucked up. She's like, I still can't believe you didn't tell me you was married. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, I'm just I don't. But see, I don't understand it because, like, with him, I told you I wasn't looking for anything serious. Yeah. So you could have kept it real. Like the thing, a lot of dudes don't understand is there are some women out here that want just what they want as well, and you don't have to lie to kick it.
Hey, listen.
I used to be that woman before I settled down and got married back in 2009.
You look,
I was that woman. Like
you went through your
I
little whole
was,
phase. You went through that
I
whole
was.
phase.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna keep it all the way real with you, right? I was that woman that I wanted you to have another woman because I wanted you to have somebody to go home to and get out of my face.
Yeah.
That's the woman I was. And
Yeah.
I feel like, some of my relationships have been karma from the things that I've done.
Hey man, me too. Me too. Hey, I mean, look,
I'm like,
sometimes
daggone it. If I had to been messing with somebody else's husband, somebody wouldn't be trying to mess with my husband,
man,
but
look, and then what was crazy when I was going through my divorce, I be saying this all the time. A lot of good women got hurt because I was trying to fill that void. You know what I'm saying? And then not only that, it was just like, man, I was like, fuck that. If they giving it, I'm taking it, goddamn shit. And then like you said, like I had to grow to learn. Like you said, I just like when I just tell like when I ain't even with nobody now, but when I was with somebody and I took that time, I'm like, well, this is what I got going on. And women respect the honesty
Yes.
more than you lying about it. So I'm like, man, this is what
Yes.
I got going on, or this is the only thing that I am looking for. And you know what I'm saying? Now, as the older women don't want to hear that shit. They're like, well, I want more than that. So I be looking at the younger one, be like, hey man, this is all I'm looking for. They're like, all right, yeah. I'm like, all right, shit. Well, come on, goddamn,
Right.
shit.
Right.
So now I got a question for you, right? So out of all the stuff that you have done, right? What do you think your most notable accomplishment is?
I think right now, for me, my most notable accomplishment for me personally would be me creating my brand. Because it's inspired by my son. So the Just Love Self is my son's initials, Jabari Lanier Stocks.
Okay.
And the reason why I chose Just Love Self is because I feel that even though everything happens for a reason, the plan is already written, we don't have any control over that.
Mm-hmm.
However, had I just loved myself enough to walk away, then maybe the circumstances would have been different.
Well, don't go down the rabbit hole beating yourself up because it wasn't. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
The situation was the dude was fucked up, right?
right, right,
I
right,
mean, just we all ignore red flags, especially when we really really want to fuck with somebody.
right.
It happens that way. So don't do that. Don't
Yeah,
do that.
no, I mean, no. So I'm not beating myself up. So so now the message is just love yourself enough to walk away from anything that isn't serving you, from anything that isn't adding to your growth, from anything that isn't making you happy and bringing you peace.
Okay. Now, um, okay, I got another question for you, right?
Okay.
So, what do you expect your career and your business to be in 5 years?
Mm. In 5 years, I would like for my business to be an internationally known brand, not just known here, but known internationally. Um, I would love to be a speaker and go out and go into arenas and talk to other women about overcoming the challenges that come along with being in an abusive relationship, or for someone that has lost a child, just sharing my story of I'm still here, I'm still able to talk about my son, and talk about my experience and hopes that someone else can learn something from it.
Okay. All right, look at you. Yeah, look at you. All right, so now you being an author, a businesswoman, a survivor, you know what I'm saying? A mother there's battle grief, right? So what is the best advice you could give to someone who's aspiring to do what you do? Like,
Keep going.
keep going.
Keep going. Challenges are going to come. Life is going to hit you. Life's like that's what life is supposed to do. Life's. But it's about how you embrace those obstacles that really determine how you're going to come out on the other side. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. All right. I see you and I hear you, right? Now, Those were some good questions, man. I appreciate that you came on here and you shared your story, man. A lot of people that are going to hear this, and you're going to motivate people to keep going, to journal, to write, to scribe, to find positivity in these situations, man. Thank you for being a light in that in this space, if that makes sense.
Yes, yes. And that's
Yeah,
why I said I wanted to take this test. I could have just let it keep me down.
yeah,
I could have just wallowed in depression and grief and just stayed there.
yeah.
But I chose to get up for myself, not just for myself, but I have two other children that still need me to be that light for them.
That's right. That's right. Look at that. Oh, oh, yes, yes. Now, and you shared your story. Now, you shared your book, you shared your LLC, you shared your story. Now, I got some real questions for you.
Okay.
Yeah. Welcome to Journey of a Jackass. Journey of a
Oh,
Jackass. Journey of a Jackass.
okay. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Let's get it. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Question number one. I just got 6, 7 questions for you. Okay.
Okay.
6, 7 questions, right?
Okay.
They ain't too hardcore tonight. Just simple stuff. All right. Who you think won the Kendrick Drake battle?
Okay, so listen. I'm going to give it to Kendrick only because just lyrically, you can't fuck with Kendrick, man.
Nah.
You just can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love Drake. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've listened to Drake for years, but when it comes to that MC, it's Kendrick.
And look, and Kendrick beat him at his own game. Kendrick went
Yes.
and Kendrick dropped after he dropped Euphoria, and then he dropped Meet the Grams and 616 in LA. Then
Mm-hmm.
he's like, all right, don't worry about it. Here, I already know Drake is gonna do this. Then he dropped a club song. Like he beat
Yep.
him at his own game.
Yep. Yep. And he was very calculated with it, because everybody was talking about, oh, Kendrick better hurry up, he better respond. Listen, Kendrick will do what he want to do.
Yep.
When he want to do it, he's grown.
So
Love it.
so I watched the interview of one of the engineers that was in the studio with Kendrick. He recorded all those songs that he released in one night, right?
I believe it.
He recorded all of them in one night, and he said the original version of Euphoria was 19 minutes long.
Whew.
They broke it down to 8 minutes, but the original version was 19 minutes. They said Kendrick was in there and snapped for 19 minutes straight.
I believe it, because that's what happens when you poke a sleeping bear. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like Drake was poking. He was poking.
I was
Kendrick
like,
was chilling.
He wasn't doing nothing anything like that. And Kendrick been throwing shots all throughout the years. Like, man, like on the Control, he had the best verse on Control. You know what I'm saying? The Like That record, stuff like he been saying stuff all throughout the years. But they took the bait.
Yeah,
they took the bait. And then Kendrick was like, I'm about to show you who the king of the monsters is for real. He did that shit. I was like, damn. All the people that love Drake, they're like, nah, Drake won. Drake. I'm like, nah, bro. Nah, you ain't go back and listen to them songs. And what's the name? Drake, as soon as Kendrick started calling him a pedophile and all that stuff, man, Drake team sent Kendrick like messages like, hey man, we need to end this shit because Drake is starting to lose sponsors now.
Listen, the song, I'm gonna be honest, the song that really did it for me was Meet the Grams.
Yeah, Meet the Grams. Meet the Grams.
Hey, I was at work scrolling through TikTok.
Yeah.
And somebody had did it. You know how they do, and they like, did you check out this track? And I'm listening, and I'm like rewinding back, and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. Look, listen, that song was a therapy session for Drake.
Yes.
It was like for people that go to therapy and all that shit. It's a lot of niggas like, oh, that shit was whack. Anybody want to hear him
No.
talking nursery rhymes to his
No.
family? So, like, no,
No,
bro.
he was unpacking some shit.
He was unpacking for Drake. He was like, I was like, no, that was a therapy session for him. I was like, anybody that's doing the work on themselves appreciates that song.
Yes.
I was like, man, are you crazy? You talking about that was the weakest song in this whole. I'm like, nah, dog. You need you need to go do some work on yourself.
Like that one sealed the deal. Like
Yeah.
you talking to the son, you talking to the alleged
daughter,
11-year-old daughter,
and what was crazy,
mama, daddy, like you might as well pull out the whole family tree.
It was a chick named Lacey Lace or Lacey Lash or whatever her name was. She did an interview in 2019, said that she got a 5-year-old son. The kid got to be like 9 or 10 now. Said she had a 5-year-old son by Drake, and then she posted pictures, and the little boy looked just like Drake. And I was like, ain't nobody touched on this one yet. And then the girl was like, yeah. And then they said that she received an undisclosed amount of money and then just kind of fell off the map.
Of course she did.
Yep. I was like, nice. And then people, but that interview started resurfacing all online, and they was doing everything they could to get that shit taken down.
Oh yeah. Trust me, anything that's hidden is going to start resurfacing. It's going to start coming out because that's what happens.
That's what happened. And then let's be realistic. Drake is the world's biggest superstar. You think he ain't knocking hoes down?
Listen. You already know. They be in every city lined up waiting for him next.
Man, that motherfucker is not sending that jet to keep picking Sexy Red up for nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like he is not he don't like hanging out with her that much. Come on up here to Toronto for the weekend. Come on up here. Right. So she missing out on money to spend time with you. Nah, nigga, it's more to it than what you saying.
Y'all got something going on.
Absolutely. Okay. Next question.
All right.
Yeah, I like that answer. All right. So, what do you think the wildest moment of this year has been so far?
The wildest moment of this year, like entertainment wise or just in general?
In general.
Okay. It really goes back a little farther than this year, really. This stuff with Gaza and Ukraine and Israel and all of that stuff has just like gone on for too long.
Ain't gonna never end.
It just don't seem like it's gonna ever end. But the thing, I know I'm probably gonna ruffle some feathers with this one, but it is what it is.
You on the right show.
I don't understand
you on the right
how
show.
do we have so much money to send them, but we struggling like a motherfucker over here in America.
Hey man, we've been saying that shit. I've been saying that shit for a long time. People be like, man, what's going on with this? I'm like, man, y'all seen all this motherfucker. I'm like, Ukraine must get motherfuckers got y'all in a chokehold. Like y'all, like they must motherfuckers got like naked pictures of the president with a dude or something. Like they man.
Hey, they had the video of the Bama, or what was it? They found some coke in one of them offices.
That's what I'm saying. Like, man, hey man.
I'm just saying.
Over there, Gaza, Israel, all these places they sending money to, Taiwan. I was like, bro, they must got some dirt on y'all that is impeccable. Because it's like when they get to a point where you're like, fuck the people, we got to send this money over here. When the people win, and this is why I don't feel like Biden care about getting reelected, because he's hearing the people tell him we don't give a fuck about none of that shit over there.
Right.
Like we are telling you we don't give a fuck about that. We don't give a fuck about none of that. Gas out this motherfucker high as a motherfucker. The economy is
groceries, everything.
You keep saying this shit getting better. No, the fuck is not. What are you talking about?
Getting better for who?
For who? Yeah,
look, getting better for who? For those of y'all up there that what I'm saying is not really feeling the pinch. Oh, okay.
We gotta stop electing these dudes that are so far detached from reality that they really don't understand. Well, I'm talking about congressmen, senators, House of Representatives, the House reps, man, the presidents, all of them. We gotta stop electing people that are so far detached from reality, they don't know what's going on down here. Like we, what I'm saying? We haven't had a common man's president in a long time. All these dudes have been rich and far detached.
Yes. That's just like, I had a conversation with my coworker once at a company I was working at. And he was like, every time the corporate people come in here, they like go through this and they go through that and they saying all this and saying all that. And he was like, but they don't know what it's like. I said, bro, they ain't worked on the store a day in their life. They got hired for corporate. They don't know what it's like to be in here busting their asses, trying to get these sales, trying to get these customers to purchase something. Please purchase something. You know what I mean? So it's like it's the same thing that you're saying. Like these rich people, these people that don't have the struggles that we have as everyday people, they don't know.
And then I'm talking about, and then get on TV say the economy is doing the best that is been ever, and then people will pull up the stats and show him. Well, it says that we have the highest inflation that we had in 40 years. The fuck are you talking about?
Right.
Yeah. So it's like
it's those blinders, man. People put those blinders on and they only see what they want to see. And it's not affecting them. These senators, they may live in Northwest or Northeast or wherever, but they're not part of the hood. They don't know.
They don't know. Only thing they know is that we need they down in Mayor Bowser ear. We need to fix that southeast part still.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly.
We got everything else under control.
Right. And that's the thing about the way crime is. Some of it is just dummies, but some of it is people are fed up with struggling. People are fed up with not being able to make ends meet. They're figuring it out by any means necessary.
Look, the thing is, they be talking about all these kids out here crashing out, stuff like that. I was like, because they don't have nothing to do in their communities.
They don't have anything to do.
Y'all, all the rec centers are closing down. They ain't no libraries. They ain't no activities for them. Y'all tearing down all the basketball courts because you said that's where all the D boys hang out. Right. So it's like, so what activities are you giving them? You know what I'm saying? For these kids to not be out here crashing out.
Nothing,
right?
Just blaming it on the parents. Oh, the parents need to do better. Yes, some of them do. Some of them absolutely need to do better. But
if you gotta work 2 jobs to survive, when do you have time to be a goddamn parent?
Right? That's what I'm about to say. How are you supposed to be able to set an example for your child of what they should and shouldn't be doing if all you're doing is busting your ass, trying to make sure you keep a roof over their head, clothes on their back, make sure they can go to school and all that good stuff.
Yeah. And I'm like, man, get out of here, man. So when I be hearing that shit, I'm like, man, get out of here. Like for real. Like that's why I don't be watching none of that stuff no more because it's all BS. I be like, man, get out of here, man. Y'all really ain't paying no attention to what fuck going on out here.
Nope, not at all.
And everybody is saying the same thing. Like I'm like, dude, I'm like, man, y'all, you already lost a young vote because you're banned TikTok. And then now you got the college kids going to jail all across the country. Mm-hmm. And they're telling you what their problem is with you, and you're still ignoring it.
Yep. See what they want to see.
See what they want to see. When November comes, it better not be surprising. Y'all doing everything y'all can. Y'all trying to get Trump locked up. Y'all trying to get him. Y'all trying to get discredit RFK, all that stuff, whatever case may be. But bro, it would people would take I think right now in this country, people would take a convicted felon Trump as president over what we have
going now.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, that's the reality of it. I really think people would think that. Look at the rally Trump just had in New Jersey. He had over 100,000 people out there in New Jersey. New Jersey is a Democratic state. He had over 100,000 people at a rally. Yeah, bro, they better wake up. They in trouble.
The thing is, despite how screwed up he is, he was doing things that are not to him and whatever he got going with Putin. I don't know what the thing is with Putin. Putin, like he got blinders on when it come to Putin. But with everybody else, it's like, cut that shit out. Take that shit back where you came from.
Yep. See? Yeah, man, see? Yeah, all right, then. All right. Okay, so next question.
Okay.
What do you think would be the worst? What do you think would be worse for humans? Right? Dinosaurs coming back or sharks growing legs?
the sharks growing legs.
The sharks growing
And I'm
legs.
gonna tell you why. Because they
Okay.
already be coming up on the beach biting people. So if they get some legs, they're gonna be running after people biting people.
Look, I'll talk about and look, and they just be fast and shit too, like Speedy Gonzalez fast. It should be you be booking your ass on trying to get away. Anyone would be all you see is 4 little
Right?
legs. It's coming like a motherfucker. I'm like,
I'm just saying,
shit.
dinosaurs have had their time. Let me see a shark with some legs. I want to see some shit I ain't seen yet.
Not me. And I could imagine going outside to my car and it just be a shark out that bitch with some legs. I would never leave that motherfucking house again.
Hey, that's a good reason to call out. They can't. What they gonna say? They be like, man, we got sharks out here. They running around the neighborhood.
They running around the neighborhood. Motherfucking animal control niggas be quitting.
Oh yeah, animal control is done.
They done.
Yeah, they done. If any type of predator that doesn't have legs gets some legs, animal control is done.
Done. They be like, nah, man, we ain't playing with y'all.
Right.
We not playing with y'all.
They don't pay enough for this shit.
They don't pay enough for this shit, man. And especially if they real fast. It's like running zombies, dog.
Right.
Like, yeah, nah, fuck that.
Nah.
All right, so yeah, we already talked about this one. Okay. I was gonna ask if you think Trump gonna get jail time, but we already talked about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm gonna ask you a question, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask you one more question. This will be the last question. Then I got one more question after one more thing after that. All right. Who do you think has a better? I'm gonna give you a list of artists. I want you to tell me who you think has the better catalog and why.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Okay.
Anita Baker or Stephanie Mills?
Oh man, see, it's just something about Anita Baker that I love, but I'm torn on that one. Can I come back to that one?
Okay, yeah, we come back to that one.
Let me come back to. I gotta think a little bit more. That's a tough one.
Yeah,
you ain't playing fair out the gate.
yeah, out the gate. All right, ready? Next one.
Okay.
Joe or Case?
I'm going with Joe.
Listen, I went to Joe, Anthony Hamilton, and Maxwell concert, and Maxwell had all the glitz and the glamour and all that stuff, but Joe had the best set. He had so much music that I forgot about.
Yeah, that's why I said I'm gonna have to go with Joe on that one.
Okay, Joe. All right, Anthony Hamilton or Music Soul Child?
Okay, so look, right. I'm gonna go with Anthony. I love Music Soul Child. I really do, but I love some Anthony Hamilton.
Yeah, it's something about his voice.
Yeah, it's his. I was gonna say it's his voice. Like his voice just like set the mood. Like, you know what I'm saying? You having a bad day. Let's just say you having a bad day. And then you just come in the house, you hit play, boom. Charlene.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I think
it's like, okay, you're right. I'm good.
I think on my deployment, one of my deployments, I spent a lot of time cracking cheeks over there. I had a lady I was over there slaying, listening to Anthony Hamilton the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
One of the ladies, anyway.
Right. I would say which one.
Okay. Now, Gerald Levert or Luther Vandross?
Now, you know. See, okay, here's the thing. So we had Gerald by itself, and then we had Gerald with, you know what I'm saying, some other people. Luther's only been by itself. So I think I'm still go with Luther.
Luther?
I'm going to go with Luther. I love Gerald Levert. But when I think about old school, like back in the day, like those times that really felt good to me, like I get that Luther feeling. Like Dance with My Father is one of my favorite songs because of my relationship with my dad, you know, and losing him and stuff like that. So because of that, I'm going with Luther.
Okay. Now I got one more. I
Okay.
got one more for you. Last
Okay.
one.
Okay.
Curtis Mayfield or Marvin Gaye?
Because my dad listened to Marvin so much, I'm going with Marvin.
Okay.
Curtis probably got some hits out there that if I go back and, you know what I'm saying, start pulling up some old school, I'd be like, man.
Yeah.
But
You go.
my dad was a Marvin fan, so I'm gonna go with Marvin.
Okay.
I'm a
Now.
daddy's girl. I'm a daddy's girl.
Yeah, I see. I see.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we got Anita Baker or Stephanie Mills.
I'm gonna give it to Stephanie.
Yeah, Anita Baker don't like showing up to shows and shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Stephanie because most of Anita's music could kind of put you to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Whereas I feel Stephanie, you know what I'm saying, she gonna put you to sleep, but she gonna get you hype a little bit too. You know what I'm saying? She gonna give you a
Ah.
nice balance.
Okay. Well, that's all the questions I got for you today. I told you I was gonna take it pretty good. I was gonna take it nice and easy on you tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
I
That
actually,
wasn't
I ain't
bad.
actually nothing extra wild. I'm saving all the extra wild questions for the 50th episode next week. It's gonna be some.
Okay.
It's gonna be some dumb, wild questions.
I want to make sure I'm watching.
Yeah. So tell everybody where they can find you at on social media.
Just Love Self LLC. That's on TikTok and on Instagram. If you want to follow my author page, I have author G Marie on Instagram. I also have my pen name author JM Sims on Instagram as well. And my website is justloveselfllc.com. It's up. You can't place orders on there yet. If you want to order something right now, you can DM me, but the website is up. I'm doing it by myself because I was like, I wanted to challenge myself. So I'm trying to like actually do everything myself and put the website together myself using I'm using WordPress.
Okay.
And it is a little tricky to learn, but I'm determined that I'm going to do it. So I should have it finished by, I'm gonna say by the end of next week. I should have it completely like products, people can place orders and all of that.
Okay. All right. Well, but look, it was a pleasure having you on here sharing your
Yes,
story and
thank
everything
you.
like
I
that.
appreciate it.
Yes. I'm glad you could make it today, man. It was an honor to have you on here sharing your story and you know what I'm saying. Hopefully, old buddy's in jail getting his back beat out. You know what I'm saying. So, man, I'm
He
glad.
calling somebody daddy.
Yeah, he called somebody dead, land on his stomach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that you came on here. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely have to have you back for sure.
Absolutely. Let me know whenever.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, I got to get this show rolling. Peace. Bye, girl.
Bye.
Yeah. Man, that was a good interview. That was a real good interview. Man, y'all make sure y'all check Miss Gladys out. She got that old school name, so I know she put some foot in there. Miss Gladys. Miss Gladys, what you cooking for dinner tonight? You know what I'm talking about? So I know she put her foot into her work, man. And I'm sure I'm gonna have to pick this book up because I want to get further into supporting her for sure. She's also gonna be at the Independent Black Author Expo in August. So y'all make sure y'all come out there and support her there as well. You know, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna make sure of it. All right. Now we're gonna get into the community events. Community events. So if you're in the DMV area, right? DMV area, community events. This Saturday, May 18th, they're having a spring vendors day at the Tribeca Apartments in the computer room from 12 to 4 p.m. It's at 4701 Old Sopper Road at the Tribeca Apartments in the community room, right? So it's free. If you want to vend there, it's free. It is free to all vendors. Only thing you gotta do is come in there and set up a table. All right. So Spring Vendor Day, May 18th from 12 to 4, 4701 Old Soper Road. Okay. After that, we got the Taste of DMV, June 15th, 300 Pennsylvania Avenue, Southeast Washington, D.C., right? There are so many acts. They're going to have 5 stages. They're going to have beer, food. I'm actually running the podcast section out there. So that's going to be fun. I'm going to be selling my books and all that stuff. But I'm going to have our podcast booth set up so people can come up, set up, and they can run a podcast from out there. You know what I'm saying? So come on out and support. That's running from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And sometimes it runs a little bit later, whatever case may be, but it's going to be fun. There are acts everywhere. 5 different stages, acts, all of the food that you want, all the drinks that you want. Remember, June 15th, 11 to 7 p.m., 300 Pennsylvania Avenue. It's down by the monuments and all that stuff. So you can go out there, you can see the mall, the Capitol, all that stuff if you coming in town. All right? Taste the DMV. Bring y'all ass out there. Let's go. And those are my community events. All right. So moving on. The read of the week. I just ordered this book, so I'm about to start it. I can't tell you what it's about, but everybody keeps telling me it's good. So I'm about to start it. But this week's read of the week is Atomic Habits by James Clear. Everybody's telling me that it's full of information, very, very informative, stuff like that. I'm actually starting to read it tonight. Right? So Atomic Habits by James Clear. I will give you more information on this book next week once I start delving into it. Because y'all know I read like a book a week, something like that, sometimes 2, depends. But I'm going to get into this one because everybody keep telling me that it's a good book. So the read of the week this week is Atomic Habits by James Clear. I give y'all more information on it next week. All right? Atomic Habits by James Clear. Yes. All right, so we got the community events. Remember, Taste of DMV, Community Spring Vendors Day, Read of the Week, Atomic Habits by James Clear, right? Now, with that being said, since we're getting into all this positivity, I think it's time to get into the dumbass of the week. Fuck is you talk about? And when I say this week, this guy is a dumbass. He deserved everything he gave to him, all right? This man deserved everything that gave to him. Now, we just had a survivor on here telling a story about how she lost a son and stuff like that, right? So no sympathy for anybody that does anything to children. None. Zero sympathy. And this man got every fucking thing he deserved. Fucking dummy, right? So I didn't know this was still a legal punishment in the United States. I didn't know, but now I know. So this week's dumbass of the week is a 54-year-old Louisiana man, right? He was sentenced to 50 years in prison for raping and for repeatedly raping and impregnating a 14-year-old girl. Right? Fucking dummy, pedophile, piece of shit, right? Fucking dumbass. So Glenn Sullivan of Springfield, Louisiana, the good old boot, pleaded guilty on April 17th to 4 counts of second-degree rape in connection to assaulting the teen multiple times, right? Now, he's already getting the dumbass of the week for being a pedophile, for raping this young 14-year-old girl and getting her pregnant, right? Louisiana getting a little bit of this too because of the way the state is, you may have to keep the baby, whatever the case may be. But him, he get everything he fucking deserves. So he getting 50 years in prison. And not only top of that, Mr. Glenn Sullivan Sr., you stupid motherfucker. You going to jail for 50 years without your motherfucking dick and balls. They about to make you a goddamn eunuch. This stupid motherfucker got 50 years in prison and he got physically castrated physically castrated. I didn't even know that was a punishment. I didn't even know that's a fucking punishment. This man going to jail for 50 years, and he going without a dick. And that's what the fuck you get, you piece of shit, right? So, yeah, man, Glenn Sullivan Sr. is getting dumbass week. Fuck are you talking about? That's what you get, going to jail without a dick. Louisiana castrated his ass, and he deserved it. That's why he's getting dumbass of the week. Fuck is he talking about? Fucking stupid. Leave the fucking man. I don't know what is in y'all motherfuckers' mind to think it's okay to be fucking with these minors, man. So I need to pass that law in all 50 states. Y'all ain't fuck with minors. You know what I'm saying? You need to go and get your go to jail for a long time without your wang, man. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. 54-year-old Glenn Sullivan Sr., you're the fucking dumbass of the week, you dickless punk. Motherfucker. Bye. You ain't never coming home. And that's my dumbass of the week. Yeah. So moving forward, because we just got past the dumbass of the week. Moving forward to travel tips. So travel tips. This week's travel tip is a website called vacationtogo.com. Now, on vacationtogo.com, they have discount cruises that are within 90 days. So y'all know they have to fill these ships up, right? They try their best to fill these ships up. So within 90 days, your cruise has to be paid off. I'm cruising in October. You got the mid-July to have it paid off, right? They make exceptions, or if you're still paying on the whatever case may be, as long as it's paid off before you get on the boat, right? But if they see that there's a high amount of people that haven't filled in vacations to go, you could go on there and they have cruises like $200, $300, 6, 7, 8 day cruises, 5, 6, 7, 8 day cruises for $200, $300 that's leaving here in the next 90 days because they still got the rooms available. They didn't fill them up. So my travel tip for this week is a vacationtogo.com. If you go on there, literally just hit the link, put the cruise in, like put cruises in and stuff like that. And it comes up with a long list. It shows where you want to go, all that stuff. It gives you an itinerary number with the price cost, the regular price cost, and what the cost is, what they're selling it for because they're trying to get rid of it. Excellent website. I'm glad I discovered it. I went on there and I looked, and there are a few of them that I might be going on here in the next few months because they were like dirt dumb cheap, right? Y'all already know I love cruising. So yeah. Vacationstogo.com is this week's travel tip. All right? It's this week's travel tip. You heard me? So now we didn't made it to the end of the show. Man, again, I thank everybody. Thank Gladys, old school Gladys Stocks for coming on tonight. You know what I'm saying? Y'all make sure y'all support her books and her business, stuff like that. And I want to thank all my subscribers, all my listeners, my viewers, stuff like that. Man, keep supporting me, man. I appreciate y'all for real. Y'all actually listen to the jackass, man. It make me feel good, man. All right. I really, really appreciate y'all. All right. Now, with that being said, it's time for me to end this motherfucking show. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. Until next week. Oh, and next week is my 50th episode. So I'm going to have a few guests on next week. Multiple guests. Everybody gonna be tapping in. 50 episodes, man. 50 episodes. All right. Now, with that being said, hey, y'all. Until next week, peace. You motherfuckers.